Hey guys, Steve again. Yeah, I wanted to do a video today because I'm really disappointed in a lot of the comments that I got on my previous video. I didn't realize that people were. I wanted to believe the best in people, and my teachings, being a Christian, is the fact is that I want to believe that there's always good in people, and that people strive to be better, to be better people. However, I just found out, and this is basically, I think, the synopsis of Angelina County and what we can take of this county, and why it is probably in the position it is today. And it's really despicable to hear some of the comments. To reiterate, some of these comments were made because I actually put out a video questioning a death in a jail on Friday. The details of this have not actually been reported. This death. What we do know is the fact is an individual was arrested on Sayre Street, like 1200 block of Sayre Street. It was a few blocks down from a medical clinic, to where he may or may not have been trying to get to, obviously believing that something was wrong with him and that he was sitting on a sidewalk, and was arrested for public intoxication. Now, the two officers, we don't know who the arresting officers were. We cannot get any information from the Lufkin Police Department and or our county commissioners and or our sheriff's department because they want this to go underneath the rug. Meanwhile, this individual was taken in, didn't even have a chance to get booked in. He didn't even have his picture taken. He was thrown in a detox cell. The detox cell is where they throw people on, the detox, like Modus, Mayberry goes in, whatever. He was not checked to see the level of alcohol content in his blood. He was not checked to see if there was any other substances in his blood. He was not checked. He was not checked to see if he had any allergic medications or whatever. And he was not given a sedative there because that's one of the first things you do when you're detoxing. Is that they give you a sedative to ward off some of the signs or some of the bad things that can happen to you when you're intoxicated to a certain level. First of all, if he was intoxicated to that level, he would have been drunk. There would have been no verbal or probably hand signs to the officers. So he would have been dead on his ass drunk. Second of all, he had ability to walk. Got him into the police car, and I'm sure that he would be processed for resisting arrest, even though he was drunk. They're going to get him for resisting arrest. Everybody knows that happens. How lame it is. But the fact is that what people don't understand is as soon as a law enforcement agency takes custody of an individual, they are responsible for his health, welfare, and his well-being. We know this because the fact is that the officers turned him over to the Angelina County Police Department, and it's at that time he was county property. So in other words, you were responsible for his health, welfare, his being, eating, providing medical care, all these things or whatever whenever he appeared. We do this as a civilized society. We do this to actually make sure that people who have alter remains that have put themselves and maybe others in danger. However, the fact is we still try to preserve their life so they can face justice. Didn't happen in this case. This individual was signed in, thrown into a drunk tank, and where he was left for a period of time. The nurse came in and said that his blood pressure was in range. They didn't say what his blood pressure was. During times of diabetic trauma, or some other traumas, your blood pressure may spike up or it may go way down depending upon but she said it was in a normal range. I don't know what normal range is for her. However, the fact is that we know 15 minutes later he was dead. So something happened within that 15 minutes that caused him to go into multiple distress, and there was no one there to watch him or to look out for him. If you've ever been to Angelina County Jail, what you're doing is whatever. As soon as you're arrested, you go into what they call a holding cell. They call this a detox cell. It's basically the same thing. Throw you in there. It's the only place you have to lay down or is on the cold cement floor, which that's what jails are supposed to be for. And if you are suffering from, if you're suffering, if you're detoxing to this current amount, people say, well, alcohol detox is easy to go through. I'm sorry, but it's not. Especially if you've been drinking pretty much all your life, for all your life, your alcohol level goes up, but it still doesn't. it doesn't negate the fact it has on your body. First thing when you're going out alcohol detox is you get really freaking cold. Some have actually been outside or actually on cold floors where they actually experience hypothermia and where they can't get warm. One of the first things that when you go to a detox center, what they do is they make sure that you're warm. They give you a sedative. They make sure you're warm, and then they look at your progress. They check on you. None of this was provided. It was just a drunk that doing the cell. So it has come up. Well, we don't know what he took. We don't know all that. Well, none of that has been proven. We don't have an autopsy yet. The question we should be providing is how can a man go from being drunk and going into a jail cell, and there's no evidence to prove that he was drunk. Maybe he was something else. Maybe it's something from natural causes. Maybe he was diabetic, and maybe these things happened to him because the fact is it's just what the good Lord wanted that day. But it still does not give us the right to say, well, he was drunk, he deserved it. These people, who are you to make the determination? As a human, we are taught that we help the suffering. We help people who are down and out. We help people. It's what we do. Imagine if I was in combat and I'm rocking and rolling. One of my buddies goes down and I just say, well, it sucks to be you, bro. I'll get to you in a minute. Even in wartime, per the Geneva Convention, we are actually, as soon as we have actually issued enough amount of force where a nation cannot fight back, it gives up. Then we actually administer first aid. We actually take bandages off our body and we'll give it to Doc to save his ass, or to minimize the damage. That's what people do here. That's what people are supposed to do. And for have people to comment and say, well, he died, he deserved to die. And then if you're actually a jailer in that jail, they want us to feel sorry for the jailers. I'm sorry. A person died on your watch. I would be reviewing every second that individual hit the door to the time that he was pronounced dead to see what we could have done differently and try to make sense of it all to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And this comes with transparency. We need to look at those procedures. People, this is the second death in Angelina County in 3 years. It's starting to become a pattern here. This type of pattern that we've created in Angelina County has been statewide. We have just now passed a bill to where there actually is requirements. If you're going to wear that badge and draw that county salary, then you're going to have to go through requirements. First aid being one of the top ones, clearing rooms, saving lives. That's what your job is to save lives. In case you forgot that. Or to keep other people from getting hurt. Recognizing signs that maybe this ain't right. Maybe we need to pay more attention to this. Maybe we need to, instead of treating people like cattle, throwing them in a damn jail cell because you believe so they did something wrong or they pissed you off or whatever it is. You still have to treat people as a human. And for those of you who don't recognize that, I feel sorry for you. And I run into these type of people all the time in Angelina County. They're the first ones to ask for help, but they won't provide it. I've seen people get in a car accident out here on 69 or downtown Loop in Lufkin. People get get slammed. I'm gonna call it NASCAR slammed. Nobody stops. Nobody cares. That's just part of the day. We look to our leadership and then we see the same thing. But for those of you not to question, for those of you who don't ask questions, who do not try to find out what happened in this scenario to make sure it doesn't happen again, and those of you just accept, well, just the way things are. What if it's going to be you one day and need help? Or need somebody to find the truth out, or need somebody to recognize there's a problem so it doesn't happen to other people. What happens if it's you? Most Angelina County have a lot of pride. They say, oh shit, my time to go, it's my time to go. Well, you don't get to decide that. You don't get to decide that. The Lord does. But you also don't have the right to contribute to an individual suffering. A man from 9:30 to 11:30 at night was suffering from something, and we did not aid him. We did not help him. No matter what crime he may have committed, he didn't steal anything. He was just drunk in public. Maybe he was on something else. That's how rumors get started. You don't know because nobody will tell you. So pretty soon your rumors, well, he wasn't telling the whole truth. He was incoherent. Doesn't make no difference. If you're in distress, somebody should be able to sit there and help you, or have enough love in their heart to help you. We have people in Angelina County that won't stop to help you. So please take that as a warning. Do not rely on your neighbors. If I go down, part of my family go down, I do not take Angelina County traffic. I will not take Angelina County ambulance to the hospital because they will drop you off at the jail cell first. If my family are in danger, we will not utilize any service from Angelina County. I will provide the first aid for my family because I've been trained to, and I will make sure that they get there and there's somebody actually looking over them, not thinking, oh, well, shit, they're going to die. Oh, shit, we need to get up and go look for them, go look after them, shit, I don't know, it's just a damn drunk, whatever. It's a person's life. And as soon as people start discontinuing or taking other people's lives for granted, it's not the Christian way. You don't want to be a Christian, that's fine. But the fact is, let another person die on your watch, and you try to justify it because the fact is that it was that person's fault. He was out of his faculties. It's your job. And for those of you who say, no, it's not my job, then guess what? Same thing goes. If I get into an issue here in Angelina County where I have to rely on the cops to where I'm leaving. I'm not going to help you because of the attitudes that you currently display toward other people. Because I know for a fact, if something happens and I go down in a car accident, something happens to me, I know damn good and well the majority of people will stop and help me. The other half will get on the cell phone. Screw helping me and put it on the cell phone. We're going to stand around and watch. It's not who we are, people. And I refuse to accept this the way that you were raised and your mama raised you that way. We help people no matter who they are, no matter what race they are, no matter what they're going through. We help people get through hard times. I pray to God that they'll bounce back. Forgive them their evil ways. But we don't decide who gets to live or die because it inconveniences us. For those of you who do, I pray for you. I pray for you because you know what? There's not really much humanity left in you anymore. That's all I got to say.